Welcome to the One Thing I Know for Sure, a podcast where we unlock powerful insights in order to inspire transformation and change in your life. My name is Wendy Rosenthal. I am the Chief Pathfinder at Pathfinder One to One, a transformation coaching practice where our approach is first internal and then external. Because we know when you go inside first, you can literally change the world. And I'm very excited to be here today on this podcast. Now, this podcast is focused on asking our guests one simple yet very powerful question, exploring that question, hopefully having some tips for you at the end. My guest today, who I'm very, very excited to have with me, is Deanna Maldonado. She is the founder of Maldonado Strategies LLC. She is a respected Central Texas public figure, and she has built a career in achieving the impossible while fostering lasting relationships. As a best-selling author, she shares stories from her journey in politics, which are amazing, by the way, because I've heard a few, travel, and running through the lens of being a Latina. She also just launched, and I know she's going to tell us a little bit about it, her solutions for if you're interested in running for public office, her candidate school course. And she really focuses on empowering women in politics. And with everything going on right now, I think that we couldn't have more women in politics, if you ask me. I think we need a lot more. Hi, Deanna. Thank you so much for being here today.
Hi, Wendy. It is a pleasure to be with you. Thank you for the invite.
My pleasure. And Deanna, I'm going to ask you, what is the one thing that you know for sure?
Well, when I was first posed with that question, I wanted to take it more deeper than what it should be. But the first thought that came into my mind was curiosity. And in that one word, it just took me back to my childhood, all the way through the phases of life, and up to now. I think curiosity is something that's very open space, very organic, and very unique and meaningful to each individuals. And to me, that word or that activity has taken me to places far, near, and some places where I have to do a U-turn. But nonetheless, curiosity is also about knowledge, is about also dealing with imposter syndrome, and also wanting to learn more so that, in my case, that I can help others.
So it sounds to me the one thing that you know for sure is curiosity is key to bringing success into your life, bringing the things that you want into your life. Is that correct?
Yes, it is. And the curiosity, like you said, internally, where if there's that nagging question, or
Mm.
again, the curiosity or the unknown or the uncertainty, that it helps to delayer or maybe even decouple that potential negative connotation, or that strings along and that builds that headspace. So to me, by internally focusing on curiosity, exploring the possibility, curiosity of wanting to learn something or kind of seeing what's around the corner, it really opens up a whole
Mm.
new pathway for me as I've internally, so that I can be, helping others and develop my business and help others in their leadership roles.
I love this. And I want to share just a little story with you about myself because it was curiosity that led me to actually having a child. I had not thought I wanted to be a mom my whole life. And I hit 40 as often we do. And we start asking, like, okay, like reassessing where am I in my life?
Hmm.
And it's so interesting that you said, like, it's that curiosity internally, like, why? Like, why do I feel like I don't want to have kids? And that one question led me on a 5-year journey
Hmm.
that was not always simple, right? But it led me on a journey where ultimately in my mid 40s, I had my son. And so I really am resonating with that as
Yes.
the one thing that you know for sure that when you are curious, something is going to happen.
Yes, something is going to happen. And I think it's also about paying homage to that curiosity, especially when it's something. And I think when that moment or that emotion hits us, Wendy, that it's something that's kind of begging or nudging us to really take a more introspective look into that, that issue or that item. And I would say more times than not, you're not disappointed because at least you have gone through the process, gone through the experience, vetted it out for whatever it is, whether it's getting a new contract, deciding to have a baby, deciding to move across the nation, or some
Deciding to run
important
for office.
or deciding to run for office.
I
Yes.
would imagine that curiosity, like the better politicians are the more curious politicians because not only are they, trying to help their communities or who their
Mhm.
constituencies or to change policy, but that in order to understand what the best route
Mhm.
is or whether policy could work or not, you have to be curious, right?
Right, yeah, because there's, like, the curiosity is your circle of influence and your circle of knowledge, but in running for office is like, okay, how far out will that curiosity circle then start expanding, and in what ways will it unfold and kinda mesh and be at some point concentric with some
Right.
other circles. And I think if to be a good leader and to be the best leader is to lead with curiosity, lead with compassion, lead with empathy, and knowing that you can be the best for others.
And I don't want to I want to say that there are lots of people in the world who aren't as curious as others, right? It is a trait you have to hone, don't you think?
Yes, yes, because I mean, and again, there's some folks have a more of a regimented, they want to make sure that they're within confines because that's a beauty to them, for them. That's how their life is fulfilled in a way of sense. So maybe their curiosity is more insular to a more of a limited scope, and while others may use curiosity as to venture outside of the confines of where they're at.
So when you have worked maybe with somebody or know somebody, and I love how you said it, that their curiosity is maybe has a smaller boundary, let's say.
Yeah.
But it's not that they're not curious, but maybe it's a smaller scope of curiosity. Um, have you like experienced that, or where have you experienced it, and do you find or have you found ways to help somebody broaden that so that it actually benefits both of you?
I have over the course of time because I mentor different have different walks of life throughout the time that I've been in my leadership roles. And when I start having a conversation, they start having a conversation. It's you know how it is that they always lead with a question, but there's really two or three questions deeper. And
Mhm.
so we finally get to that question, it's about tell me more, or listening and waiting to see what is it that's kind of tapping into
Mhm.
their little, system of wanting to learn more. So in that I can tell like how far they want to go, or how they want to go about exploring it. And sometimes they need somebody verbally or somebody give them some a tangible path, a tangible advice for them to continue in that exploration of curiosity, or at least to have say, okay, I got my answer. I don't need any more.
Right.
Yes.
It's so interesting as you're talking, and again, I this is for me, you've just opened up really truly like a font of questions that I have because also as a consultant and as a coach, actually, curiosity and asking questions and being able to ask relevant questions is totally core to what I do. And I even have a specific session where I use curiosity in order to help somebody reveal their superpowers, right? And it's all about
Yeah.
asking questions. So this really resonates with me. Do you have any tips on how to spark? Like how do I spark even more curiosity than I might already have? Or what
Uh-huh.
ways have you found to really ensure that every day you're
Mhm. I think over the course of time, and is that when the curiosity moment starts nudging or starts kind of, percolating a little bit more, then it's like, oh, I hone into that emotion and identify what, the issue, the item, or the possibility is. And what I do, I connect with nature. So I like obviously running, going walking, going hiking, because I think that's where you're able to have clarity in your mind in order for that prospect of curiosity to continue to surface up.
Mm,
And even it can be just walking around the block or just standing outside in your front porch and taking a breath of fresh air. I think it's just something as taking that moment to be in solitude with that emotion of curiosity so that it can bring clarity and bring more of a pronounced effect so that me myself, I'm like, oh, I really want to run for office, and in order to do that, I need to start asking for help, or I need to start researching my nearest representative, versus that it's just spiraling in your head, and we're
Right.
just endlessly talking about it without taking any action.
Yeah, I mean, I think asking questions is such an amazing way to, like you're saying, for yourself and for in other ways to just
Hmm.
expand your circle. Like the minute you
Yeah.
ask a question, then something else comes up. I
Yes.
love
Yes.
this. I love that this is the one thing that you know for sure. I really appreciate it. I hope that it has inspired others to take the opportunity to every day have a moment of curiosity to what, as your tip was, go outside, be in nature, explore that emotion and see where it leads. I want to give you some time, Deanna, to share a little bit about what's going on in your world right now.
Yes, no, thank you. I've been very deeply infused with curiosity over the past months. I've been developing this wonderful course that, to me, my curiosity was to, if I could run for office again, what would I do? How would I do it differently? So I've developed a course. It's 20 lesson plans. And my part now is to empower other women to run for office by having this resource, a guidebook of lesson plans that they can reference so that they can have a good experience, but they know upfront what they're going to be prepared and up against versus stumbling along during the campaign trail as I did. And so if I could do a do-over and make it better for other women who consider running for office, that's the what I've developed, and I'm be launching it in February 2025. And I'm also on my last chapter of writing my memoir, which hopefully that'll be also, it will be coming out later this year, but they're all aligned with running for office, empowering women, and being supportive and in alignment of how to build better communities and have fun along the way too.
I love that. It's all about having fun along the way. You've got to do that, right?
Yeah.
And also, I want to say you do coach, privately people women who do want to run for office as well, correct?
I do, and that's part of the lesson plans because after that, I know some women will want to have that one-on-one coaching, and I did that last year. I did it with three amazing candidates from Colorado, Ohio, and a couple from Texas. So they were very generous with their time as I was developing my lesson plans and writing the course, and at the same time getting very relevant, updated, information, while at the same time my skill sets and experience help them run a more efficient campaign, especially when it came to fundraising. But that's, it was just a beautiful journey that both of us or all of us went through. And with that, I'm looking forward to coaching, the best leaders to public office and as many women as we can touch across the nation.
Amazing. And in our last 30 seconds, can you just share where somebody can find you if they're interested?
Yeah, so I have my website, which is dianamaldonado.com, as well as I'm very, very active on LinkedIn. So look me up on LinkedIn. I do have the Instagram and Facebook, but I'm very busy on LinkedIn and through my website at dianamaldonado.com.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Deanna. I really appreciate it. And if you're interested in learning more about our coaching and how to take that first internal, then external approach to expanding your life, you can visit us at www.pathfinder1to1.com and on all of our social media platforms at Pathfinder1to1. Thank you so much, Diana. Please leave your comments and how asking questions has changed your life. And we'll see you again soon.
Bye bye. Thank you.